Good morning, everyone. My name is Tumilap, Science Research Specialist 1 at the Department of Agriculture, Region 10, assigned at Research Center for Hililand Development at Lanisi, Claveria, Misamis Oriental. I graduated my master's degree at the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, Claveria campus. This morning, I'm going to present to you my study entitled Growth and Yield Performance of 3 Oyster Mushroom Species using Fresh Grain Spawn and Tissue Grain Spawn. For the introduction, the increasing population and the decreasing land size for crop cultivation throughout the world poses a serious problem to sufficient food production. With the prevailing poverty affecting rural areas in the Philippines, there is a need to develop technologies of oyster mushroom cultivation that may be used by less privileged to help themselves earn their livelihood. Why mushrooms? The cultivation of mushrooms requires less elaborate technologies. Second, mushroom can easily adapt in rural and urban areas since it can utilize farm waste. And third, the most affordable to small-scale farmers in order to generate extra income. The objective of the study, first, is to compare the growth performance of 3 oyster mushroom species using the grain spawn and the tissue grain spawn. Second, to determine the yield of fresh grain spawn and tissue grain spawn production on the 3 oyster mushroom species. Third, to determine the interaction effect of the yield of the 3 oyster mushroom, and lastly is to determine the cost and return analysis. For the materials and methods, site identification. The study was conducted at Research Center for Hililand Development, at the Mushroom Laboratory, and in Mushroom Growing House. Second is the media culture preparation for tissue grain spawn. So these are the process. The grain spawning using the yellow crack corn. So these are also the process. Third, the substrate preparation for mushroom cultivation. We use the sawdust, 75% sawdust and 25% rice bran. And then the substrate are ready for sterilization. Sterilization of bagging or the substrate for 8 to 10 hours, then cooling about 24 hours or 1 day after. Then this is how we plant the tissue and fresh grain spawn to a sterilized substrate, and then incubate for 3 to 4 weeks until it was fully whitened. The treatment preparation. The factor A is the different grain spawn. The A1 is the tissue grain spawn, which is the F1, and the second is the fresh mushroom grain spawn, or the F0. Factor B is the 3 oyster mushroom species, Pleurotus Spp, or known as Daepong. Factor B2, Pleurotus florida, or Florida. Then third is the Pleurotus Sahorkaho, or the Sambuk.
For the results and discussion, Table 2 showed the mean number of days to pinhead formation of 3 oyster mushroom species using fresh and tissue grain spawn. The number of days to pinhead formation had no significant effect on the interaction between factor A, different grain spawn, and factor B. Pinhead formation occurred quickly in factor A, tissue grain spawn, compared to fresh grain spawn with 39 and 41 days respectively. While in factor B, Daepong got the earliest days to pinhead formation with 36 days, followed by Florida with 30 number of days. The latest exhibit pinhead formation was obtained in Sambuk with 46 days. The findings of the present study matches with the study of Shah et al. 2004, found that the spawn heads appeared 6 days after the spawn running. Statistically, there is no significant effect on the interaction between the different grain spawn and mushroom species. The difference among the findings may be due to the different species used. For successful mushroom production, it is necessary to ensure that production is economical and efficient so that higher yield can obtain. Table 7 revealed the yield of each mushroom species using tissue grain spoon and fresh grain spoon. The highest yield was found in Dipong species tissue grain spoon with 287.63 grams, followed by Florida with 276.20 grams. The lowest yield was obtained in fresh grain spoon Sambok species with 242.77 grams. Data showed that both factor A and factor B had highly significant effect on each other. The result of the present study is similar to the study of Sharma et al. 2013 that showed us the rice bran had a total yield of 247.87 grams. Table 8 showed the cost and return analysis of producing oyster mushroom using the different grain spoon and mushroom species. For grain spoon, the highest net income revealed in tissue grain spoon of 1,360.33 with an ROI of 49.83%. For the mushroom species, Dapong got the highest net income and ROI with 1,486.50 pesos and 54.45% respectively. For in the interaction between the grain spoon and mushroom species, the highest net income was found in tissue grain spoon Dapong species with 1,584.50 and ROI of 58.04%, while the lowest net income was obtained in fresh grain spoon Sambok species of 913 pesos and an ROI with 33.44%. It was revealed in the data that factor A and factor B alone has highly significant effect with each other, while for the interaction between factor A and factor B showed no significant effect.
For summary, conclusions, and recommendations, results revealed that the tissue grain spoon and Dapong species alone give significant production in terms of diameter of the cup, weight of each flash, weight of three major flashes, yield, and cost and return analysis. The earliest days to pinhead formation was found in the combination of grain spoon and Dapong species with 36 number of days, and the latest to pinhead formation was found in fresh grain spoon and Sambok species with 4 number of days. Tissue grain spoon and Dapong species consistently gave the highest results in terms of weight of each flash, weight of three major flashes, yield, and cost and return analysis with 15.02 grams, 38.32 grams, 287.63 grams, and 1,584.50 net income and ROI of 58.04% respectively. Fresh grain spoon and Sambok species constantly gave the lowest yield of weight of each flash, weight of three major flash, and average yield with 11.65 grams, 30.27 grams, and 242.77 grams correspondingly. Specifically, spoon production is nothing more than putting mycelium of the desired mushroom in suitable sterilized substrate under aseptic conditions. On the other hand, there is no significant effect on the interaction between the different grain spoon and oyster mushroom species in terms of all the data gathered. It is clearly evident from the results that fresh grain spoon and the tissue grain spoon are suitable for spoon production purposes. Hence, it is concluded that farmers who want to venture mushroom production could use any of the mushroom species, either with the use of fresh grain spoon and tissue grain spoon, depending on the availability of the spoon and mushroom species. The outcome of the study is that growing mushroom from locally available materials is an organic approach and a way of preserving our health and environment. The result of this research will guide to the farmers who want to venture mushroom production. Before ending my presentation, I will give you some of the lessons that I've learned, which I dubbed 4 P's. First is the prayer, because everything that we will do or we do start with a prayer. Second is the passion. If you put passion in your heart, then you can reach your goal. Third is the patience, because when we conduct research, it will take a time, and then if you don't have patience, then you will not success or get success. Then fourth is perseverance. Finally, perseverance. If you have perseverance, you can get your goal aim rightfully. So that's all. Thank you and God bless.